Welcome to today's professional learning session brought to you by Global GEG. While we're waiting for the broadcast to start, in the chat, please enter your Twitter handle and where you're from. Also start connecting with other educators. During the session, as questions come up, please add them to the YouTube chat and we can address them during the session. Don't forget to subscribe to the Global GEG's YouTube channel to find out about other upcoming sessions. We hope you enjoy this presentation.
Hello. Hello, everyone. I'm not controlling this. Yay, how are you guys?
Everybody's here, I think. This is great.
Yep, this is going to be awesome.
This is great to be here with you two.
Are we just going to wing it?
It was my plan.
So we have an exciting lineup for tonight. What was it, like last Saturday?
Oh, I think so.
We did a Google Meet with these 5, and they're going to be Google trainers because their presentations were amazing. And we were like on the back channel talking about them, but nice things, of course, right, Fred?
Oh, absolutely.
And so we were like, oh my gosh, we have to get them to present on Global. They were so good, and we just kind of wanted to use them as models for everyone else. So you do kind of get a preview of what this looks like and what the process might be for having a really good presentation for your Google Trainer application. So we didn't record the session because we already said that we weren't going to for them back on Saturday. And so we were like, oh, you guys have to just do it again live. So we are so excited to bring on our guest today. Anything else you guys want to say before?
Who, me? No, I think, they did such an amazing job. And we thought, what a great opportunity to let them do a training here, but also give us content. So yeah, this is going to be fantastic.
Yeah, it really will be. I agree with you, Rick, because like it was just going to be an informal gathering of people testing out their presentation. And yes, we were in the background with our phones going, hey, that one was good too. Did you see that? And I think it was Stephanie who said, I don't think I was as good as they are now. And I said, I'm not that good as they are now.
Same.
So we're really happy that they came on and they took a risk.
Yep. Should we just dive right in, Steph?
Yeah. So I think, Fred, you're going to introduce our first person. But real quick, it's going to be quick 10-minute presentations. So they are going to be on showing us some new tricks or old tricks with Google, depending on the presentation. And you're going to hear from 5 different people tonight. So it's going to be, again, really quick, exciting, and we will be providing, I don't know why I'm echoing.
Well, it builds really it makes it seem way more exciting when you're echoing. So if you could do it again.
Okay. So 10 minutes, that's all they get. Once the 10 minutes is up, I'm going to come on to the presentation stand. One of us will, and we're going to say your time's up, get off, close it out, and it's going to just go on to the next person. And then you'll fill out a feedback form after each presentation. We'll throw those links into the chat for you. And we're so excited to have you guys learn.
And we're going to start with our first person. We're going to add her in here. This is Liz. And am I saying that right? Hoppy?
That's correct. Yeah.
Cool. And I got the first one, Liz?
Yeah. No, actually, yeah. Liz, good job. That's the hard part.
Good. All right.
Liz, do you want me to share your screen or do you want to share your screen?
I would love to share my screen.
Okay. Go ahead and share it and we'll pop it up.
Okay. Hang on.
And as you're waiting for Liz to get her screen, let us know where you're joining from in the chat. We would love to know who's joining us. We've got Mel in there. Something about Rick stole that background again.
This.
Oh, that background.
Luis's living room once again. So, all right, you're up, Liz.
Right.
Stephanie, you're going to start the clock. Here we go.
Chris. Thanks. Hey, so I'm really glad to be here. I was excited to be invited to participate in the Global Cast. My name is Liz Hoppy. I'm a technology resource teacher, not currently in the classroom, although I did spend 20 years teaching. And we all use Google Chrome, right? I mean, hopefully we do. We did have some Internet Explorer people that hopefully we've moved over in our district. So we use Google Chrome, but I don't know that everybody knows some key tricks that can really make Google Chrome really helpful for your workflow and your efficiency. And who doesn't want to be more efficient at work? So I have 4 things that I want to share with you today. And I want you to take a look at them. And I want you to think, how many of these things are you already familiar with? And we're going to get started. The first thing I'm going to show you, if you don't already sign into your Chrome browser, you need to know how to sign into your Chrome browser. If you look in the top right corner, there's a little, that profile icon, and that's going to give you some kind of dialogue. Every device seems to be a little different, but a dialogue so you can sign in with your Google account. And it's pretty straightforward. It's a very familiar looking sign-in box. What this is going to do is sign you into Chrome so that anytime you have a website or something that says sign in with Google, you could just click sign in with Google and your account's all there and ready to go. So there's your sign in. It's going to ask you next if you want to link your data. And this is an option. I always link my data because that means my bookmarks transfer over, my web history. So if I'm at work thinking, what was that website I accessed on my home computer? I've got my history right there. So I choose to link data. But if for some reason you wanted to keep this computer separate from your others, but you still need to sign in, you can click create a new profile and that's just fine too. All right. And then you can add as many accounts as you want to. This is useful for teachers because maybe you have your work account, but you also need to have your personal account on there also. You just click on that little icon at the top and you can toggle to as many different accounts as you need to add on there. For students, it's worth knowing that if they're signed into a Chromebook, they're automatically signed into Chrome. So this isn't a step that they would need to do. So that's signing into Chrome. What that does is it opens a couple more options to you. One of the things that's really useful is being able to pin tabs. Now, if you're like a lot of people, you open a lot of tabs on your browser. And sometimes I get so many tabs open that I start to think, where's the email tab? Where did that one go? And oh, there it is. It's right in the middle, of course. Well, that makes it harder to find. If you pin it, you can right click on the tab, choose pin, and I want you to watch what it's going to do. It sends it all the way over to the left. So it's always easy to find. I have my email, my calendar, my student attendance. I have my Google Drive always pinned on the left side. Now, not only does that make it easier to find, but you notice there's no X on that tab. And when I hover over, there's no X. So I'm not going to close it accidentally. All right. And that's pinning. Useful for teachers. Pin your attendance, pin your email, pin your calendar, pin your Google Classroom, any of those tabs that you keep needing to come back to, pin those on the left. Now, I want you to know if you close Chrome, those pins go away and you open them each time. That doesn't save. But there's pinning tabs. Students can be taught to do this also. Pin their Google Classroom. If you have a class agenda, pin that. If you have anything that they consistently need to keep going back to, pinning it on the side. I learned this trick in a teacher training, and the trainer had shared the agenda and said, right now, pin that on the left side because you're going to keep going back to it to get links. So just pin that over on the left. So that's a really helpful one. One of the other things you can do once you're signed into Chrome is use your bookmark bar. If you don't already use your bookmark bar, this might change everything for you. If you notice, right below the address bar, there's a bar where you can put bookmarks, but you have to turn it on first. So it's right here. And all you do is you click on the 3 dots on the top right, you choose bookmarks, and then you choose show bookmark bar. Okay, once that shows, you'll see it drop down if you didn't already have it. You can add new bookmarks. So I'm going to click whatever that little icon is next to the web address. In this case, it's a little lock. It doesn't matter if it looks like a globe, whatever that little icon is, you click on it and just drag it a tiny bit. So if you're on a touchpad, you tap with one hand and hold down and then drag with your finger. Put that right down in your bookmark bar, and it's going to keep it there. That means anytime you need to go to, for example, I know in this example, I have Google Classroom there. Anytime I need to open Google Classroom, I just click that little classroom icon and it's going to open up for me. Now, you notice, for example, it looks like I have Google Calendar there and it has the words. Well, that's prime real estate from my perspective. I don't need all the words there. I can only fit so many bookmarks. So here's the bonus tip. If you click, right click on the bookmark and choose edit, delete the name. Just totally remove the name. Or, for example, I have Q, which is our attendance, but it comes with a really long name. I just go in and edit that to the letter Q because all I need is one little reminder of what it is. So you can edit the name right there. So that's your bookmark bar. Take just a second if you're watching this, go over to another tab, practice pinning, go to your 3-dot menu, add your bookmark bar. I'm going to pause and catch my breath for just about 20 seconds. And I want you to play around with the pinning and the bookmark bar. I need Jeopardy music. All right, I'm a teacher. I can do wait time, but I think that's long enough. If you're watching this on video recording, you know how to hit pause. All right, my last tip. Oh, I forgot. Teachers, bookmark we talked about that. And students, bookmark your daily work. Okay, I'm moving on because this is my favorite tip. The group tabs option. This is new. In fact, you can see in my screenshot, it even says new right next to it. But this is a total thing that will help the way that you work, particularly with distractions. If you get distracted by all those tabs you have across the top and go, oh, I need to do that. Oh, I need to do that. Oh, I need to be here. Grouping tabs might be something that really helps you out. So you can choose a tab, right click on it, and choose Add Tab to New Group. It's going to ask you what you want to name the group, and you can choose a color. And in this case, I created a group called Curriculum. And I added that math site to the curriculum group. Okay, now I'm going to add another one, right click on another, choose add to group. And because I already have that curriculum group, I can either say, no, I want this in a different group, or I can add it to the curriculum group again. So I'm going to add, I've got 3 sites here in the curriculum group. Okay, now if I click where it says curriculum, look what's going to happen. It's going to collapse them. So now when I need my curriculum sites, I click on it and they expand. When I'm done with curriculum, I close them up. Okay, it might be worth having a group. If you work and you also have Facebook and Instagram and whatever else open, you might have a group called distractions. And then open your work ones. And then when you're ready for a 5-minute distraction break, go click your distractions, open those up, collapse them again. All right, this is useful for teachers, different projects. If you're planning a topic, it helps collapse your tabs so that you have more space for them. It's useful for students. Let's say they're grouping tabs for different classes. They have tabs for an English project they're working on and all their research sites. They can collapse that up when it's time to work on science so that it helps kind of focus their attention. I think groups for tabs is one of my favorite new features. All right, so those are quickly 4 things you can do with Google Chrome. First of all, make sure you sign in. Second of all, use that bookmark bar to keep your links close. Pin your tabs on the left, and then group your tabs together so you can stay organized and stay focused on your work. I appreciate your time. I would love it, whether you're watching this live or watching this playback later, I would love for you to use my feedback form and give me some feedback on what was helpful for you. All right, I hope that helps you use Chrome well. How's that for an awkward ending? Now, I need to know how to unshare my screen.
Well done, Liz. That's fabulous. How do you feel?
I feel like I ran a marathon or something. No, I
Great.
love these Chrome tips. These are things that I use that have made a big difference for me. So I'm happy to be able to share them.
I know as you were presenting the bookmarks, just using the icon, I was going through and I'm like, oh, that one needs changed. And then I was like, oh, that site needs a favicon.
Yes, the ones that don't drive me crazy when it's just a generic. Come on. Oh, did I have my time?
Yeah, you
You're good.
yeah, you went under.
I
It
was
was
like, oh my gosh, there's a fire.
I was worried.
yeah, I did the same thing. Like I have so much room in my bar now,
Yeah.
my bookmark bar. I've added
Yeah.
probably more than I need at this point because I was just looking for stuff to put in there. But once I got them down to the favicon, I'm like, oh, this is great.
Yeah. Well,
So-
I really think the distraction makes a big difference for me to be able to just get those tabs out of sight.
It's very calming.
So, all right. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Thank you, Liz.
Thank you, Liz.
I was gonna say let's leave her here and make her keep making small talk. But
Wow.
all right.
All right. Up next,
Me.
Leslie. Who do we have next?
We've got Helen. Is Helen in the house?
Mm-hmm.
Bring her on.
Oh, we're both touching it.
All right.
Hi, Helen. Welcome aboard.
Hello, everyone.
Helen, when Helen presented her presentation in our little quiet group, hers was about getting the most out of Google Calendar. And I really enjoyed listening to the appointment slots because somehow or other I tend to mess them up. So it was really nice, well laid out. And so I'm really looking forward to seeing that part again. So off you go.
All right.
You're going to share your screen or she's onto it.
All right. So hopefully you can see this. I am Helen Prince. I am a high school media specialist in South Carolina. And I liked using a lot of the Google apps before we went virtual, but particularly now that we are virtual, so many of the things the students do and the teachers do, it's all virtual and everything is tied into Google Calendar. So it makes it really, really easy. So if you want to follow along, you can easily find your Google Calendar. You can either go to calendar.google.com. You can use the waffle or the little 9 dots in the upper right-hand corner. You actually have a Google Classroom that is a calendar that's exclusive to each of your Google Classrooms. You can find your Google Calendar from your Gmail. That is like a secret pro tip. I think a lot of people don't realize that. And then you can put it on your device, your phone or your tablet, and that always is helpful because it gives you those reminders. Okay, so if you're just looking at the calendar page, so you just went to just like calendar.google.com, you have 3 different views. There's a daily agenda, which lists by hour. So you have one day on the screen. You can do a weekly view or a monthly view. And no matter what you're looking at, there's going to be a little mini month calendar up in the top left. And also on the left sidebar, you're going to see basically all your calendars. So you know how I said each of your Google Classrooms has its own Google Calendar? You can decide if you want each of those being a different color. You can share your calendar. So like I have a personal Google Calendar for my personal account, and I also share one for my media center with the other media specialists so that people can look and see when the media center is open or schedule different classes. All right, so when you go to schedule an event, you would just in your grid on your calendar, click the time and date that you want to add your event. And it makes it super easy because you see right there, it lets you add in a Google Meet. So if you're like my school and you're doing hybrid and you have some people needing to meet you virtually, some people face-to-face, you can utilize that. You could add in details like your room number or meet me in the mobile A. Some of our teachers move around, so that works really good for them. And finally, at the bottom, you see that tiny purple circle. That's where you can change your different calendar. So this event would be scheduled under my calendar. If I wanted to change it, I would just click on that circle and change it. You can also add just a task and you can check them off. So if you're a list maker, you like crossing those off, that's very, very satisfying. You can mark yourself out of office and you can create appointment slots. This is like a secret treasure, I think. It's kind of like if you remember Sign Up Genius, but it's out in your Google Calendar. So you go and create an event just like normal. You give it a title, but you can decide how long you want each of your appointment slots to be. And then you can add in more options, like your date and things like that. So on the right side, this is what people who are scheduling the appointment with you see. And then on the left, that's what your calendar is going to look like. So it's going to be, if you said from 9 to 3, you're doing 30-minute appointments, you're just going to see that whole time slot blocked out on your calendar. And as people sign up, their names are going to appear in the grid. All right. When you do that, on Google's going to show you a URL for other people to be able to join into your appointments and to schedule themselves for appointments. And that's the appointment link that you want to share out to them in like an email or whatever you're doing to invite them. If you want to turn into a QR code, whatever you need to do with that URL to share it, this is where you find it. Okay. Also, you can add in a Google Meet there if you need to. And you can see how the names pop up as people schedule themselves. All right, integrating your Google Calendar and your Google Classroom. From your Google Classwork page, right at the top, there's going to be a calendar link. And if you as a teacher put in due dates for your assignments, they're going to automatically be sent out to your students that are enrolled in that classroom. That's good because they're going to also then be getting those updates and getting reminders. If they have their Google Calendar on their phone, which you know our kids all have their phones glued to their hand. So they're going to be getting those updates. And here, as you can see in the Classwork tab, it's like right in the center. You can also, if you want to schedule an event that's not tied to an assignment, you can go into your Google Calendar and just select the calendar for that classroom in the drop-down menu and schedule it in. Like if you want to book like for a club meeting or something like that. Block scheduling, I do try to remind my students that if they're going to schedule out their whole day, plan out your big chunks first and then add in your other things that you need to do. So really, if you are commit kind of yourself to your Google Classroom, it can be really, really beneficial because you can see where you have free time and where you don't have free time. And it kind of also can help you with your work-life balance. All right, really quickly, here is, if you're in your Gmail on your desktop or in your browser, on the right side, there's an icon there. That's how you get to your calendar. And if you have an email pulled up and you want to share that email with, or you want to make a calendar event out of something that's in that email, it will automatically link that email to that calendar event under details for you. So you can pull it back up. And then again, just Apple phones. In the past, I've heard that Apple doesn't play well with Google, but I think that they've gotten a lot better with that. So you can add in your Google Calendar still to your Apple products. I don't have any issues on my iPad, and obviously on an Android, it's a lot easier. Just add that Gmail or GCal app, and it's right there. It's easy to sync up. But then you get those notifications to your phone. So if there's not any questions, there is a survey that I would appreciate you filling out to give me some feedback. I'm on Twitter and Instagram and things at PagePrincess398. If you want to contact me, I do all kinds of library shenanigans, but I also do a lot of educational technology things as well. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen.
Thank you so much, Helen. That's great.
Yeah.
You did really well. How do you feel about presenting to a big audience?
I was more worried about the time. It's hard because, you know, I don't know if people have questions or not. So
Right.
Yeah, I didn't see any questions, but there was so many great feedback in the chat. A lot of
Yeah.
people love the week view, like Mel.
mhm.
What else was there? Ganardo loved the week
How
view.
people, yeah, and how people were using the appointment slots.
Yes.
So
I
it
love
really
what-
sparked some thinking there.
I
Oh,
love what
great.
Judy said.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so lots of really good feedback.
Well done. I put your feedback form, and so did Global GEG, in the chat there. So this is another great opportunity for these applicants for certified trainer to get some feedback and fine tune their training. And of course, it gives them data so they can add to their application. So please fill in the forms.
And look who we have just
Thank
in time.
Somebody's at his new desk.
Well, Liz's oh my gosh, Helen's presentation was great. As long as was I can't even talk tonight. I'm so exhausted, and so was Liz's. But I'm really excited to bring on this next person. He came with so much energy the night that we did the presentations, and I learned a lot of different ways to use different tools to help with that school and home connection that I kind of used in school after this session. So I'm really excited to have Eric share with you guys some of the things that he shared with us last Saturday. Hey, Eric.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for the kind words and letting me come back. My energy wasn't overwhelming, so that's good to hear.
Excellent.
No, it was perfect.
Yeah.
It was exactly where it needed to be.
Excellent. I'm all coffeeed up and ready to bring the energy again. So here we are.
Cool.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen as well. And there we go. I'm going to choose this one. And there we are. All right, so I'm really excited to come back and talk about these tools that I'm using here. And just like most teachers, I think I borrowed these from somebody else along the way. So these are not new to me. They're just kind of useful things I've picked up and have used myself and want to share that knowledge. So by all means, take this and run with it. I know even the two previous presentations from Liz and Helen, I borrowed stuff when we did this 2 weeks ago. I borrowed stuff that they shared with us and have started using daily. So that's kind of the whole point, right? So what I'm going to talk about this evening or morning, wherever you happen to be, are 3 tools to strengthen the school to home connection. So we have a great opportunity here to use technology in a lot of wonderful ways. It opens up all kinds of opportunities to do what we are already doing, but to do it better, right? So I'll get into that in just a moment. Here's some contact info. Feel free to visit my little old website, just a little bit of info about me. You can also contact me through that website. I've got a contact me page. You can leave me some feedback, all that good stuff. So where are we going today? We're going to look at 3 Google apps that can help you achieve a better connection between you and your students and their parents and guardians. I love bringing in the animated text. I do that with my students, and it's hilarious how much they love that. So it's the little things, right? So I'm a high school English teacher. I've used Google Classroom for the last several years, but the tips and tricks we're going to talk about today are things that I've started implementing really within the last year, especially since we started remote learning. So the first one we're going to look at is Google Classroom, and a really quick and fast way to share what you're doing in the class with parents and guardians, people at home. Then we're going to look at forms, another way that's really more for you, the teacher, to stay organized and to keep track of your interactions with parents and guardians. And then the third app that we're going to look at is using Google Sites. So this is the one that I think has a lot of potential that could really unlock a lot of cool possibilities with you and your students, and then bringing in people from the community, their parents and guardians, but also other teachers, admin, just the community as a whole. So why is this important, right? We hear about this all the time. You know, it's good to build those connections with everyone involved in the community of educating our students, right? So this is all about leveraging the tools we have. So if you're in kind of my generation of educators, we've been doing it from 5 to 10 years, kind of depending on when you got your start. I was a little bit later, so I've only been going about 5, 6 years here. But I'm old enough to remember running home to get the mailbox when midterm reports were coming out, grabbing that grade card, disposing of it, and then, I don't know, Mom, the post office, they're just not doing their job. I don't know what happened to my grade card, right? Those days are long, long gone. So we need to use the tools we have now and to keep people involved literally 24/7. So there are all different ways that we can stay in contact and update everyone at home on how their student is doing in the classroom. So it's a great opportunity. And so maybe for my younger self, I wouldn't have been as wild about it, but maybe it would have raised my grades. I don't know. So for the student, when the people at home are involved, they do better. Right? They have someone at home supporting them. They have someone that's checking in on them, helping them stay organized, up to date on their assignments, all those things. For the parents and guardians, it's important because it helps. We can celebrate their successes, the students, right? They can, be involved and know how well their student is doing and kind of give them that positive reinforcement. And then for the teacher, it's always the case when we have community buy-in, our job is easier, right? We have that support from the parents and guardians. We have that support that really makes it easier to help our students succeed in the classroom. So everybody wins when we have better communication. So our first app here, we're going to talk about Google Classroom. This one's quick and easy, right? So this is a feature that I know from my own school, we started using really just about halfway through this school year. What you can actually do is turn on notification summaries or email summaries for specific students that parents or guardians can opt into and then get an update depending on how often they want that update. They can do it weekly. They can even put never, which I'm not sure why they would do, but they might. But a couple things to note. So this is off by default. This is something that your admin needs to enable, and then you, the individual teacher, needs to go in and activate it. So the pictures that I have here on the right, the GEG logo is kind of obscuring it, but it's just pointing, the arrow there is pointing at the little pinwheel for options. So you click that option. Oh, thank you. Somebody just moved it. You click that options, and then you're going to see all your Google Classroom options appear. You scroll down to Guardian Summaries, and just that little slider bar, they're now on. Okay, so teachers, or rather parents and guardians, have that now available to get the summary. So the picture here on the right is what that's going to look like for them. Okay, so what does it include? It tells them the work that their student is missing. It tells them what's coming up, so what's due in the near future. It also just kind of gives a general class activity summary. Okay? But it's also important to note here what this does not provide for the parents, right? Mostly for privacy issues. So in your Google Classroom stream, they're not going to see that. Okay, they're not going to see the classwork that people submit for obvious reasons. They're not going to see who else is in the class, and they're not going to see the grades, again, for obvious reasons. So that privacy is still intact, but they do have some useful information to know kind of what's coming up. So Google Forms, this is one that I've actually started to find a lot of use for, not just for communication home, but this is a really good organization tool. So this is a great way to keep a record of parent and guardian interactions. So I know for myself, when I've emailed home or called home a lot, oftentimes I have to go back into my email to remember, okay, what did I say to them? Who did I talk to? All that. So just create a really simple form. And I've got some examples here for you. You just go in, you create the form. This is something that you would keep on your end. So every time I call home or email home, I fill out one of these forms. So I collect the email address, I put the date of interaction, the student name, the mode of communication, that would be Gmail or phone or video conference, whatever it might be, a quick summary, and then some comments. So then what I do is make sure to enable in my responses, I'll go enable the Google Sheets summary of all of my entries into that form. So the picture here is showing you, I apologize, it's a little bit small, but it's keeping track of all the data I just input into that form. So I now have a record of every time I've communicated with a parent or guardian. And on top of that, I can now share this Google Sheet with, say, academic counselors or I'm at a smaller school, so my administration wants to be involved in these interactions. So I share this sheet with my admin, and then they can go into tools and turn on the notification. So every time I update this sheet or put a new entry into the form, they get an email saying that I've interacted with a parent or guardian. They can now open up the sheet and they have access to this information as well. So that's a really good way to keep track of it for yourself, but also to bring in other people at the school who are also invested in how we communicate at home. So another way I use this feature for our Student of the Month nominations, I just send out the form to the faculty, they nominate the students, and then I keep track of it this way. So just another useful way to go about that. So the third app that I want to talk about, I see my time is running short. So Google Sites. So this is the one, like I said, I think this has a lot of potential in how you use it to display student work, whether that's to the class itself or even to, parents and guardians. It's kind of the whole point of this session here. So you can do that to display portfolios, a single assignment, their best work. Students can build the site and then share it with people at home. So to show you kind of how that would work, if I could link to another page on the site itself, and then within that page, I say, period 3 has all of their work displayed there, with obvious privacy considerations taken into consideration. English teacher here. And then you can also link to a G Drive, right? So I can link to a specific folder of a student. Say Jerry Giraffe wants to show his best writing from the whole semester. So I can have this Tommy Turtle, Jerry Giraffe, I can have each of those linked to their specific Google Drive folder. And then we now have access to all of their work that they want to display. So I see someone in the comments there is, I was too lazy to do this. I'll hold my hand up and say, this one, it takes a lot of work. So this is one that I'm still kind of building on. So I certainly can understand that. So I've added a little video that's a minute, and so I'm not going to play it for time's sake, but I'll include maybe the link to this slide deck if anyone's interested. So you can actually see how to create those links. It's very easy. Link to whatever you want to link to, the site itself or email or G Drive. So where do we go from here as I wrap up? So when students know their work is going to be displayed, their buy-in goes up significantly. They know that, oh, wow, people can actually look at this. We do the same thing, right? When we know someone's coming to watch our class, we up our game. We bring our best, right? So the students do the same. When they know that someone's going to be able to see their work, they really buy in a lot more. And again, multiple strategies. So I'm using all of these, or at least a portion of all of these, and then a few other ideas there, some other sites and whatnot to use. So there you have it.
Well done, Eric. Well done.
Thank you so much.
That was
I
great.
love the spreadsheet and Google Forms idea, and then just sharing it with your admin.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
You want to see? Here it is. There.
Yep.
There it is.
Here's everything.
Here's
right.
how to set the notifications. You can kind of take it from here. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep,
Yeah, definitely.
absolutely.
And
That was
Mel,
great.
she does a really good job with daily agendas. Like, we've shown her agendas on a couple of sessions, and she's led a session on them, like a quick 5-minute session, and they're amazing. So yeah, daily agendas are helpful as well. Yeah. Great job, Eric. Thank you so much for sharing tonight.
Yeah, it was great. And, the communication, that aspect that you started with, it was strong all the way through. Here's another example that you can use to keep that communication tight. It was really good. Thanks, Eric.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right. Fred, you've got the next one.
I do. Let's see.
Lovely, Amara.
So now we have Amara Osama. Did I get that right? Either
Yes,
of us?
absolutely.
Excellent.
Hello, everyone.
So what time is it there for you? Because I know it's so.
It is almost 4 in the morning here.
Oh, so early then.
Yes, it's early here.
Woof. Well, share your screen and take it away.
Thank you. I'll just share my screen in a minute.
And while she's getting all set up, she's going to be talking about Jamboard. And so there are a couple links that will be coming out in the chat very soon. And we want you to participate. So get ready for an interactive session on Jamboard, and make sure that you are ready to kind of jump into a jam and participate along with us.
Okay, hello everyone. Thank you for having me again. And this is Google Workspace for Education. And today I'm going to talk about a tool which has been here for a while, but was kind of lesser known tool until we were forced to use it remotely with our students. And I wasn't aware of this tool, and I wasn't sure how am I going to use this in my classroom until recently. And I just realized how powerful it is, and I just can't stop talking about it. And I see this amazing educators sharing their brilliant ideas online, that how are they using with so much creativity online with their students. So just like any other app of Google Workspace, there are a few ways to get into Jamboard. There's, you can easily go to your drive and click more and you will get Jamboard, or you can type jamboard.google.com and click plus sign on the bottom right corner of your screen. So this will take you to the very neat, simple looking screen. And you would probably think that, what will I do with this? Because you have slides and docs with so much, a lot of options in the toolbar, and you can do so much more with it. But what is it? So it only serves as a whiteboard, digital whiteboard for your students, or if you want to collaborate with your colleagues. But when you go deeper in your, these toolbars and functions, you will understand that it can do 100 times more than your physical whiteboard. So here are the basic features. You will see toolbar or buttons on the corner, and on the top of it, you will see the frame. Each jam has 20 frames, and there are not many options in the background, but you can certainly add some images to set your background. Let's check some of the functionality that is available. Here we have toolbar functions. So we have pen here, which serves as your normal whiteboard marker, and you have some options that you can click on that. You can use it to draw, annotate, and highlight. And there are many ways that you can actually use this tool, and I'll explain it later when I show how I have managed to use Jamboard in my classroom. Then you have, of course, eraser, and you can erase whatever you have drawn on your whiteboard. And then sticky notes. This is probably one of my favorite feature in the Jamboard, and I think this unique feature makes Jamboard really powerful if you're using it as a collaborative tool and interactive, whiteboard, or you're doing brainstorming session with your colleagues, or you can say brain dump session at the end of the lesson with your students. So this is really powerful, and I love sticky notes. I always keep them by my side. So it comes with 5 different colors, and there is also one white in color, which you can use as a normal text box. Images, you can certainly upload whatever you have in your computer, or you can search by your URL. There is one option, camera, here, which is really interesting, because when you are teaching, doing live session with your students, you can ask them to upload their work, take a picture of their work and upload it immediately, and then you can annotate it or give a feedback on it. So this makes it really, really powerful. Or you can ask them to take their picture and ask them how they're feeling right now, and do some interesting stuff with that. Google Images, of course, you can search with online, and if you have any images online saved in your drive or in your Google Photos. This is shapes, and you'd notice that there aren't many options for shapes here, but remember that this is only, this is not supposed to be very fancy because this is your digital whiteboard, but it does a lot. I've managed to make counters out of these circle, and you can certainly do a lot of things with your shapes. It depends on how you think and how creatively you can come up with your different ideas. So here is text. You can simply click on text and type whatever you want to in your digital whiteboard. And then you have laser, which is really nice because when you're demonstrating or presenting something online, you can use it as your highlighter or a highlighting pen, you can say that, to present. And there are always more options. I love those 3 dots because it means there are more options available. And you can download your frame as a PDF or jam as a PDF. You can save it as you could save your frame as an image. I've been doing this a lot because I have added all my frames here just by downloading this as an image. You can remove it, you can make a copy of it, and then there is version history, which is really cool because you can see which students have been doing, how much have they been collaborating, and what have been they doing. So there are a few ways that I've managed to use Jamboard, and I really love to do the check-in and session with my students, and it makes it so engaging. And I've noticed that students, they're more interactive and more engaging when I do this activity with them somehow. So add some emojis in it and ask them, how are you feeling at the beginning of the lesson? And they'll be awesome. With phonics, I used to teach phonics from ESL. And this is just one example where I downloaded this as an image and then made it a background. And then students were able to highlight the sounds they were asked to. This activity, I love the story Gruffalo. I did this activity with my students, but I came up with this idea really recently that have this character and ask your students to describe their character. You can do it in many ways. You can change this character and, ask here I've given the labels and everything, but you can give them a free choice of however they want to describe the character. So I've also sent the link for resources, and I'll share this activity with you. This is another way that I can use my Jamboard. And if you prepare your frames ahead of time, it will be really, really useful. For example, I made this. If you feel that, if you feel limited by options in Jamboard, you can design these backgrounds in your slides, actually, and then paste it on as a background so students cannot move this, and then ask your students to, move the objects you only want them to. So there are many ways, actually, you can use a Jamboard in classroom. Just check out how educators are using it. They're sharing a lot of ideas, and I certainly didn't come up with my own. I was inspired by a lot of educators. And this is one of those activities that I did with GEG for a Google Certified Coach Program, and this is GripeJam. And I've found that this is really useful for, collaborating with your teachers every day. So I asked them, how was your day today? And was there any issue with your lessons today? So they come up with all those things and fun ideas sometimes. And you can do this with your teachers in your classroom. So here's the link for resources that have prepared some frames for you. And you can use this right away, or you can get ideas or get inspired by this. And I'd like you to hop in this Jamboard and tell me how you're feeling and what time is it there, and share some ideas how you use Jamboard in your classroom. So thank you, everyone. I'd like to have your feedback, and please follow me on Twitter, and my email address is here. Thank you, everyone.
That was great, Amara. So many
Thank you.
ideas on your Jamboard.
Yeah, and people are popping into this jam right now, it looks like, and posting their time. Yep, Judy Keller's watching. We're the same time, so that's exciting. I don't have to convert there. And I'm going to throw that feedback link right into the chat. So
Thank you, everyone. It was really nice to have you.
Yeah,
thank you so much for coming. Like, this is 4 a.m. for you. This is real dedication.
It is. Please share some ideas. How would you use your Jamboard in the classroom? It would be really nice. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Amara. Well, these sessions have been great.
I know. And there's one more.
I know. I'm excited.
All right, Fred, who do we have?
It's Ronette. Here she is.
Yes. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for staying.
Oh, that's wonderful. Ronette, Ronette gave a great presentation to us quietly last week, and it was First Steps in Google Classroom, and it really targeted an audience who are very, very new to Google Classroom. And it was a great reference for me because 2 days later, I knew that I was working with a teacher who was new to our diocese, new to Google Workspace, and was completely overwhelmed and had to use Google Classroom at the end of the week. And I thought, this is such a great reference for me because you really just laid it out simply and targeted those people who were probably very nervous about this new to them platform. So let's get started. Ronette, are you able to share your screen?
I am. All right. As Leslie said, yes, my presentation probably is not so much of a, I'm going to dazzle you with lots of new tricks and tips, but I hope that if you have taken many steps past your first steps in Google Classroom, that you can think about helping me as a trainer or as a prospective trainer learn how to take a tool like Google Classroom and put it in the perspective of a new user and walk them through something that they're going to have to use. Because as a trainer, it's really my desire to come alongside my teachers and really help them in a way that's going to make them feel successful, just like I would in the classroom with a student. So I'm going to talk about first steps in Google Classroom. And as you give me feedback, I hope that you'll help me understand if I've done the kind of job that a brand new user could benefit from. All right, so first steps in Google Classroom. I'm just going to list a few benefits of Google Classroom. You can read them. And my favorite probably is, yes, it has made me more efficient as a teacher. It's really helped me simplify what I do and get my paper workflow under control. But all of these are great benefits of Google Classroom. At the end of this session, here are the things I would like for you to be able to do, or for a new user to Google Classroom to be able to do. Create a class, add students, post assignments, add links, videos, and files to assignments, and communicate in the classroom stream. First, of course, you have to find Google Classroom. You can go to Google Classroom by going to classroom.google.com or by using the Chrome app launcher. You need to be signed into your school district Google account. And now you're ready to create your first class. So let's do that. I've launched my app, and so here I am. I'm ready to create my classroom. I'm going to click on the plus sign, and I'm going to click on Create a Class. And I have to agree to this because I'm not in my school class Google Classroom right now. This just says that I understand that. After I've created it, I'm going to name it. And it's going and creating that class for me to put in my dashboard. And so now I have my practice class. Now, you can see that I'm defaulting to my stream, and the stream is going to be the place where we're going to do announcements. But let me go back a little bit. Sorry, I got a little ahead of myself. When I do create my Google Classroom, there are several things that I can do. I can customize my header if I'm more of an advanced user. by clicking on this and selecting something that I want to have. And I can just, make my Google Classroom and personalize a little bit by using my settings. Then, of course, I need people in my Google Classroom. So there are two ways I'm going to do this. I'm going to add people probably at the beginning of the year by clicking on this code and displaying it and letting all the students click on the plus sign and add this to their Google Classroom. As the year progresses, I probably will use under the people stream, I'll probably use clicking on this invite link and inviting students one at a time as maybe new students join or we have transfers. All right, now talking about the stream, this is where I'm going to post announcements and share things with my students. And so if I'm going to do that today, I might have a announcement that I want to say, and spring has sprung at our school. So we had a behavior meeting today, and I would post that to my virtual students so they would know that they had to attend the behavior meeting, and that would be an announcement. Also, I'm going to want to configure my stream by using my settings, clicking on the gear, and going down and maybe talking about who can post and comment. Right now, it's set to where students can post and comment, and that's the default. I usually start out with only teachers can post and comment, because that way I can set some boundaries and do a little bit of management teaching before we actually start to use the stream and let the students post as we kind of have set a few limits and boundaries. Moving on from the stream, I can also do some things like add a YouTube video. And if you have time to pause my presentation, you could go there and try that as well. The next thing I want to talk about is how to create assignments. There is a click, you can click on the plus sign. Let's do that now. Go to your classwork, click on the plus sign, and choose an assignment. There are lots of different options for assignments. You can click here on this assignment, and this is the one I probably use the most. Just a general assignment because you can add so many things, but there are lots of options you can explore. And one thing you can do is add a link. And if this is a Google form that I want my students to use, I would copy that link, paste the link here, and add it for my students to use during that work for today. So adding gives you those options of adding things from your drive, links or files, as well as YouTube videos. And when you're going through that, you have these add options. You also have some create options that allow you to produce instructional material for your assignments. So if I wanted to have my students work in a doc, I can create that. And maybe I'm going to give it a little title about what they're going to do. Maybe it's going to be questions. And once I've done that, I'm going to make a copy for each student. That way each child can type in that document and work through whatever questions or items I've given them to work through. Then I would maybe set a due date, like maybe it's due tomorrow. I'm going to maybe create a topic, and maybe it's going to be Unit 1. And then I'm ready to make my assignment. And that way all my students can see that. So if you wanted to have time to work through that, you could spend some time creating an assignment with a new doc that has a copy for each student. If you're a more experienced user, you might want to explore more options by creating an assignment type you don't normally use. Sometimes you might want to use the Nearpod option, or some of those things that you don't always use, or the quiz option. And think about how you might utilize those in your instruction. All right. there will be some time for questions, and I don't know if you have any, but I hope this has gotten you to think about how a new user might approach using Google Classroom and how I, as a trainer, might be able to support them in that. I really appreciate your feedback and your time this evening, and I thank you so much for joining us. Have a great night.
That was great, Ronette. I'm just putting in your feedback now.
And I joined your class. I've already turned in the assignment, but I did what my students do, and I turned it in blank.
Exactly. Oh, you have a few of those as well. Okay.
Yeah, that was awesome. I love how you differentiated too by saying like, this is the challenge if you're ready for it. Because I think so many times, like, just even that differentiation of like, okay, if you're here, do this. If you're here, do this, because you can get everybody's attention back quickly that way.
Yeah, that's something that I picked up on too, because it's really great to just to target the people in front of you, but also pull them out of that little comfort zone and say, if you want to try something more, just have a go at this tip. That's great, Ronette.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. All right, so that wraps up tonight. Oh my gosh, can we give a round of applause?
Yes, a round of applause. Well done.
That was amazing. All of our amazing presenters. I feel like I have their vid emojis somewhere in this slide deck. I think it might be the first slide. There they are.
First slide. There they are. Thank you so much.
So we shared all the resources in the chat. However, I know that was a lot of different resources. So I'm going to share this final slide deck with you, and I'm also going to put it in the description. If you go to this slide deck, down here in the speaker notes are the slides to their presentation and the feedback form. So if you were like, oh, I wanted to rewatch Eric's, you can click his slides and see what he posted, and then you can give him feedback. They are applying for Google Trainer, so they do need your feedback so that they can improve and work on the application. So please, please, please take the time to fill out that feedback and give them some really encouraging feedback, as well as what can they improve on, because we all can improve. Even Fred, Leslie, and myself, we still need to improve on different things.
All the time.
Yeah.
Nonsense.
Yeah, Fred right now, it's his background. I mean,
gotta work on it, Fred.
Yeah, I mean, he's seen a new picture.
I tried to upload a new one, but we're at our limit on StreamYard. So
Gotcha. So don't forget to give feedback to everybody. Also, if you think you want to coach or you want to train, not coach, sorry, this video right here, I'm going to post it on the YouTube chat, kind of went over what all of our presenters did tonight. Mm-hmm. I'm going to post that link in the chat. It was a wing it session. So lots of feedback and improvement for us. But it just goes over kind of what they did, and it goes over the case study for the trainer application. And so so you think you can train. We don't have a date yet, but it's coming soon. Go ahead.
So soon.
What?
Yeah. It's coming so soon. Yeah, like just right around the corner.
Yeah, we're just going to make them wait.
Yep.
So to find out more about that, we will be sending, or Leslie will be probably sending an email out through the trainer open chat listserv.
Yep. That's the one.
But there is also another. Are they doing like a 4 series videos again? The UK folks.
Yes, I've been talking with the UK certified trainers from Global GEG, and they are planning, I think, on the 30th of March. I just need the final date and the final time from them. So it gives people an opportunity who want to apply for certified trainer to come along and just go to that room on video creation or on case study. And there's even an extra room if you are a new trainer and you want to know how to strengthen your skills. Darren's running a great room there. But we haven't got the dates and times yet, so we will be posting them on Twitter. So do look for Global GEG. Check the Twitter stream for Global GEG, and you'll be up to date.
Yeah, and so after those cohorts kind of run through the process that our American and Australia friends just did, we will probably offer another session where you can get feedback in a small group setting. And who knows, we might ask you to present on Global's channel, which everybody did an awesome job. So we cannot thank our presenters enough. They did a fantastic job, and we are so excited to continue this type of session in the future.
Absolutely.
All right. If you guys have questions or you're interested in getting your Google Trainer certification, feel free to reach out to myself, Leslie, or Rick. Our information is on this last slide. You can probably email us or send us a DM on Twitter.
Either one.
Yep. All right, Rick, close us out with a video.
Oh, this is the best one too.
Thank you so much for coming to today's Global GEG presentation. Make sure you go to our website at globalgeg.org to find more information and ways to connect with us. One way you can connect with us is going to the website and joining our Google group. This will allow you to get a weekly email about upcoming events that Global GEG is hosting. Don't forget, you can share this recording with other educators or revisit it at any time at the same YouTube link. If you need a certificate of attendance, make sure you fill out the feedback form. Thank you again for joining us at Global GEG.